Last time on Pole House Black Pot's Weekend Getaways. After some mishaps, we went to camp at the Firefly Campground. Then we went to visit the Oklahoma City National Memorial and Museum. And we visited the Continental Land Run.
After getting our tire repaired, we made the journey west to Great Plains State Park.
Keep on coming. Whoa, right there. Well, we've made it to Great Plains State Park here in Oklahoma. All I can say is it's pretty rocky out here.
Yeah, kind of barren, a little bit more barren terrain and rocky than we are in central part of Missouri, isn't it?
There's lots of rocks, and I don't mean little pebbles. I mean as big as your truck rocks.
Yeah, and to us it's kind of like mountains, but nothing to what some people would call if you head further out west to the Rockies, of course. But
they have some pretty
neat.
Significant hills that I would call mountains.
Yeah.
The rocks, though.
Yeah. So we're at the south shore of Tom Steed Lake, and it's a pretty good sized lake. What is it?
Yeah, 6,400
acres.
Acres surface-wise.
Surface area of water.
And then it's 45 or 49
yeah, I think
miles.
It's 49 miles of shoreline all the way around it. So it's a pretty good sized lake. There's a lot of recreation stuff going on. A lot of people out here boating.
There's a lot of campsites. What was there, like 88?
No, we're at the top one.
But it was like 88.
No, I think it's only 58. Yeah, 58.
There's 58 electric sites. There's 88 total campsites.
Okay.
So
couldn't remember for sure, but anyway, quite a few spots here, and some of them we have electric and water, 30 amp service here, and it's $25 a night. So it's pretty reasonable price for what we got. And we actually have a neat concrete pad and picnic table, and
there are several day use areas out here too, and a really nice playground for kids.
Yep, there's a couple of those.
There's even supposed to be somewhere close by a abandoned gold mine.
Yeah, we're going to check that out over on the other side of the lake.
And we've already seen a buffalo and some longhorn cattle.
Yeah, we're up here at our wildlife refuge that we passed through on the way here, and we'll probably go back through there and do some hiking and exploring the next day or two and see what's going on there. We're all set up here waiting for our friends to come in from, they're coming up through Texas from New Mexico, so they'll be here this evening, and
they're
nice
an hour away still, so.
Yeah, so we're set up, excited, ready for them to come and spend some time with them, so.
Okay.
All right, we're at lot 58. This is the Otter Creek Campground at Great Plains State Park. Nice gravel pad. Let's see, hook for our lantern. Here I got a nice picnic table, barbecue grill. Here's our, of course, our fire pit. And here's our camper all set up. All right.
We did mention there was lots of big rocks. This was the view just right across the road from our campsite. It's quite a lovely place. Wow, a gold mine. Or was it? Okay, Gold Bell Mine and Milling Company. The Gold Bell Mine and the Milling Company was founded around, what? 1800 by Wildman and Williams near the rough mining town of Wildman. The Gold Bell Company erected 50-ton cyanide mill to process the gold ore. Today, only the cooling tower and concrete foundations remain as evidence of the short-lived gold rush. At the top of the hill was the cooling tower. Below, on what is now the steps, there were two large buildings which housed the mill. The ore was transported to the mill by means of a quarter of a mile overhead tramway. No ore was ever processed, and to get rid of the mine and mill, the owners salted the mine, gold dust was shot into the walls of the mine with a muzzle-loaded shotgun. Stock was then sold in the mine at the reported price of $1 per share. It is said that there were 270,000 shares sold. Can you believe that?
Pretty big scam, wasn't it?
Back in them days. So, where we were was probably where the mine was. This is just the processing plant.
Yeah, well, them big steps, look like big steps.
No, where we were originally. Remember, we got sidetracked?
Oh, yeah,
this is the processing part. The actual mine is a quarter of a mile that way.
Yeah, that was cool. That was the cooling tower that I was sitting up on top of a few minutes ago. So, interesting, pretty cool. Yes, it is. Ready to come around?
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's pretty straight up.
Pretty straight up there. We're gonna go up. I'm gonna try this little trail up to the top of where the mill was. So.
All right. Stop.
Oh, sorry. Said to walk cautiously and walk where we're going, because there are rattlesnakes in this part of the country.
I don't want to see no rattlesnakes.
She says we would hear them.
We should hear them before we... Hi, Craig. Friends Craig and Kathy up there at the top of the mill.
Alright, keep going, Wade. I'm losing my momentum.
This would be the top floor of the mill, looks like. With, see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 floors below us. I don't know what for sure this here at the top was supposed to be. Do you, Craig?
No.
Might have been, actually, we think it might have been actually a holding tank. It could have been for water, and then they had the things could come down. Beautiful view up here.
Well, there's Wade being a teenage boy. I wished he'd get down from there.
And let's see, go around here. I'm sitting on top of this holding tank, stone holding tank. There it is down there. It's probably about 20 feet down to the bottom of that thing. Oh yeah, big thick walls. I guess this is a holding tank probably for the water, and then they used that to flush down to separate the gold from the dirt.
Where do you think the actual mine was?
Pretty neat up here. Here's a view of some of the rocky terrain around it. See, here's the rock I climbed up on.
Isn't it? No.
And that's where I was sitting, right up there.
No.
Returned to camp and went and took a shower, and guess what was in the shower with us? You don't need to worry about snakes only. You have to worry about scorpions too. Don't like them any more than I like snakes. So honey, what are you cooking now?
Doing Chuckwagon cake. This is a chocolate cake, and we're going to add chocolate chips to it. So.
Oh, well, it used to be called a wacky cake, didn't it?
Wacky or stir crazy cake in
Stir-crazy.
one of the cookbooks we found. So.
But we found this same recipe in cookbooks from the 1800s, so...
Well, it's pretty much, I think, an 1800 style recipe because they use baking soda instead of baking pine. And into our bowl. Takes care of our dry ingredients inside of it. Okay? And in the wells, we start with vegetable oil. And we're actually going to do, let's see, look at my recipe. 2/3 of it got the vegetable oil. So we'll add the vegetable oil in. That goes in well number 1. Okay. Well number 2, we actually use 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. Now remember, let's say we're using baking soda instead of baking powder. Well, baking soda has to have something to activate it. So sometimes you would use buttermilk or something in a lot of recipes, but this recipe uses apple cider vinegar. And you can probably use white vinegar, it'd be fine too. Something with that acid to activate your baking soda. The third of 4 ingredients, liquid, would be vanilla. We're going to do a tablespoon of vanilla. That goes in the third well. And then we take our 2 cups of leftover coffee that we had from this morning, pour that all over the top. And all we gotta do now is just mix it in. A lot of times when we're doing any type of a sweet bread, I'll line it with foil, and then it makes cleanup easier. So I'll go ahead and do a nice spray, a cooking spray. All right. Then we'll just pour in our cake batter. Okay, now we're going to simply take on top of our batter and just add a nice little sprinkling of chocolate chips. I don't think the original recipe we had chocolate chips in it. It actually had cinnamon and sugar on top of it. But it's chocolate, and we like even more chocolate, so we figured we can't go wrong with adding more chocolate chips to it. So,
he's mistaken that I'm on camera, so I'm sitting here beside him.
Yeah, she's running the camera, Angel is.
I'm snoop-ervising.
One thing I didn't mention, Angel reminded me a few minutes ago, is nice thing about this for some people is no milk and no eggs. So that's kind of handy for people that have allergies. Not gluten-free though, or sugar-free, or carb or calorie-free. But anyway, at least that's some good for people that can't have certain things. So, okay. That's ready to go. As soon as the charcoal is ready, we'll go ahead and get it just baking. Okay. Charcoal is ready. Again, we're using a 12-inch Dutch oven, and we're going to use 30 pieces of charcoal. That'll get us about a good solid 350 to 375 degree oven for baking our chocolate Chuckwagon cake. So just like always, I'll just dump out the churls on top. Then I'll go around. I'm going to put 10 of them on the bottom. As usual, we'll put them all around the outside edge. As that heat will actually draw into the center, so we don't need any actually in the middle of the Dutch oven. Get them around there. And just work our way around. So get them in there. We'll put a nice ring all the way around the outside. We'll leave 4 of them in the center, so we have a little bit kind of a checkerboard on top. There we go, kind of spread them out fairly even, so we keep our heat going as even as we can throughout our cooking process. Okay. Breeze is kind of coming and going here, so I'm going to go ahead and put a wind guard back up around. That way the gusts come up. It'll keep our heat coming directly up underneath our Dutch oven and won't give us a very uneven cooking time. So we're going to set our timer for 10 minutes, come back and rotate our oven. Alright, first 10 minutes, time to rotate the Dutch oven.
$30, but they're a vent that curves like this, so it only is exposed to the back.
I think I've seen them. Okay.
I also put it on, I have a little trailer like this, I put it on that as well.
Yeah, I've seen them.
You can get them in any color, you could get it in black, where it would.
Okay, it's been 30 minutes cook time. Take the lid off and see how it's looking. Looking pretty close. Put the lid back on and go get a toothpick and stick the middle, make sure. Alright, now I got my toothpick. Angel actually brought my toothpick over for me.
Tell by looking at it, it's done.
I think it's done.
Yep. It's
Come
done.
out clean. Alright. Looks like we're good. We'll put it out another cool minutes, pull it out, let it cool a little longer, and then we'll chow down.
After our day wandering around the gold mine, it's time to relax by a campfire, cook supper on said campfire, and enjoy the sunset. With this concludes this episode of Pole House Black Pot's Weekend Getaways Oklahoma trip. If you like this video and would like to see more, please subscribe and like and share.
On our next video, we visit the Wichita Mountains Wildlife Refuge, then visit the Holy City, eat a wonderful lunch at the old plantation, then fire up the Dutch oven for some deep dish pizza.